I would like to invite Mr. Pradeep Gupta, Chairman, CyberMedia Group, to start the DataQuest Higher Education Conference and Awards with his opening remarks. Pradeep Gupta is the Chairman of the CyberMedia Group, the specialty media house with brands like DataQuest, PCQuest, Voice and Data, DARE, CIOL, Global Services. Pradeep was conferred the National Entrepreneurship Award as the Best Mentor by the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India. He is the Chief Mentor of Electropreneur Park, Delhi and Bhubaneswar, an angel investor and has mentored over 250 startups, co-founder of the Indian Angel Network, Asia's largest angel network. He was the Global Trustee of TIE, the world's largest entrepreneur ecosystem, and chairs the IIT Alumni Trust IVCAP Ventures. Let's put a big round of applause for Mr. Pradeep Gupta.
Thank you very much. Indeed, it's a pleasure to conduct the T-School survey once again physically. We've been doing it physically for so many years, but of course, because of the pandemic, and may it not rear its head again, because all indications are that perhaps it is rearing its head again, from whatever has happened in the last 3-4 days, the news from China and so on. But because of that, we had gone into a virtual mode and we conducted the last two virtually. And it's good to be back in a physical form today. Of course, we are using a hybrid mode this year, which means that whatever are the discussions and the talks, etc., are all being also will be put on our YouTube channel and so on. It's fascinating what has happened over the past 2 years in terms of boost in technology, and I think more so in education, because I remember saying it about 5 years back that if you look at technology transformed each and every sector, but the sector where it had the least impact till I'm talking about 2015, the least impact was actually education, because bulk of the education was still, if you pick up somebody from, let's say, 100 years back and planted them today in the present sort of a scenario which was there for most industries, they would find that the travel industry has transformed completely. They would find that manufacturing had transformed completely and so on. But in education till 2015, a person would go to a college and still go to a classroom, and there would be a blackboard and there would be students sitting there and there would be a teacher teaching and so on. So, the least use of technology possibly happened in the field of education. Okay. But the pandemic changed that entire scenario. It changed the mindset. We realized that we had no other option, and therefore technology started getting deployed. And as Anil just now shared some of the numbers with you, there's been a complete transformation that has taken place in the last 3 years. And it's a very, very welcome transformation that has happened. And colleges which were treating technology as just a support sort of a mechanism have now realized that it is actually mainstream, and that I think is the biggest change. The biggest change which has happened is here. Anil talked about the time model. So the motivation, that entire thing has completely altered, and I think this will alter again in the next 10-15 years. And I think this time it will be the education institutes which will be taking the lead in that transformation. What I mean is that you are now having so many different technologies which are coming, VR, AR, artificial intelligence, robotics, and all of these will start having impact in terms of the education. So I think with deep tech coming and establishing itself, it is going to be the educational institutions that will be looking at transforming the way they teach people. For instance, you will use a whole lot of VR, AR in terms of your entire course content. Okay, and that will change the nature of the classroom, the nature in which you impart education. Robotics will be yet another big change that will take place. You will find similarly, various kind of deep technology, AI, ML, etc., where you can actually then look at delivery of education tailored to different kind of students, because AI, it is possible for you to look at a classroom of whatever 50 students and custom tailor it differently in 50 different ways for the 50. So I think a huge amount of changes are going to take place in the next 2 decades in this particular sector. And that started manifesting itself in the tremendous growth that we saw for the entire edtech, startups ecosystem. There were a huge number of, and especially in the last 2 years, we've seen that the edtech pendulum swung this way, and of course has swung back also. But that is the big change that has taken place. So many different startups that have come. I think there are more than 1,000 startups that came up during this period in the field of edtech. Lot of them got funded. There were several $1 billion that got pumped into this particular industry. The World Cup match that all of you saw recently, and what a great World Cup final it was, had Byju's. And I think it was the first time I saw an Indian brand in any world platform. So that is the kind of a change that has happened. Of course, there is a correction that has happened, because the speed at which it changed was very rapid, and therefore there had to be a bit of a course correction that had to take place, which indeed has happened. But nevertheless, it is something which is here to stay, and this is the correction that is going to be completely transformative in terms of the future of technology, of education. With those few words, once again I would like to welcome all of you for the conference and the awards. Once again, my congratulations to all the winners of the awards, and I hope you have a great learning day and go back with new ideas which you can implement in your institutes, in your campuses, and look at a truly next stage of transformation of educational technologies. Thank you very much.